practical things that will help you to make progress with your life. Remember again, we're talking about the strategies for succeeding while you are in your prime. Number 11, continue to educate yourself. How do I educate myself? Keep learning for earning. If you don't learn, you don't earn. The more you learn, the more you earn. The less you learn, the less you earn. What you knew yesterday is obsolete today. The world is not waiting. Things are changing. So what do? Educate yourself every day. How do I do this? Read every day. And I just told you, I read 4 books a week. It is tight. It is tough. I read 4 books a week. So continue to educate yourself by learning new things. Learn a new language. Learn a new lifestyle. Look for something you've never learned before. Educate yourself. Strengthen your mind. Take up a new course. A course that will increase your knowledge, your skill, your growth. It could be even a course on how to present seminars, how to present courses. It could be a course on how to get your messages across. It is going to help you to level up your skills, strengthen your capacity, make you a better person. But anything you do, become such that you are so strong in what you are learning to do. Number 12, you have spent a lot of time with others. Now take that time you spent with others and turn it to what you use for succeeding in your prime. Value it. Visit your time you spent with people. Make something out of it. If you've ever heard me speak, you hear me oftentimes say, my mother will say, my pastor will say, this person will say. At the time you are with such persons, sometimes you didn't even know the drops they were dropping in your mind. You need to learn to stand on other people's shoulders to see further than you can see now. When you stand on other people's shoulders, you are able to see further than you can see now. When you are learning from what other people taught you, you are getting out of your regular comfort zone. Number 13, sacrifice a lot for the future. Number 13. So, strategy for succeeding in your prime, you need to sacrifice a lot for the future. Why? Maybe that's your question. Why should I sacrifice for the future? Because it's not my future. It's your future. Because it is not somebody else's future. It is your future. So if it must succeed, it is you that will sacrifice for it. How do I sacrifice for the future? Number 1, make deposit in the future before you get there. Let us assume that you are making £1,000 take home after tax and everything. Did you have to spend £1,000? Just when your mind is telling you, oh, Mr. Matthew Shimlowa, you don't know how London is expensive. Remind yourself that there are whole families in another setting living on £100. Delay your gratification. Probably rent, food, everything. By the time you finish spending, let there be £200-300 you are able to save. So you are sacrificing for the future. Other ways you can sacrifice. Sacrifice too much sleep by waking early. Wake up early and improve your productivity that way. Wake up early for morning devotion. Wake up early for starting the day. Never forget this truth. Those who start the day early tend to have more hours on their hand than those who always wake up late. Also, sacrifice a lot for the future by starting your own life handbook. Have a handbook where you're writing your dreams, your aspirations. Don't have them at the back of your mind. Have it written in a handbook. Don't trust your phone alone. And if you have to put it in your phone, move those information to cloud. As you write it, move it to cloud. You don't want it stolen or crashed. As you write it, move the information to cloud. Move the information to cloud. Move the information to cloud. Write your life's handbook. Number 14, make mistakes successfully, then turn them to stepping stones. How do you make mistakes successfully? How do you turn them to stepping stones? You see, everyone in life have blind spots, areas you didn't see clearly, areas you didn't understand clearly. Discover your own blind spots and improve on it. Learn to turn failure to success. One of the ways to discover blind spots is to look at what happened when somebody got you angry. What was your reaction? The event that took place at a particular time, how did you behave? Were you angry? Were you happy? It helps you to begin to know who you are. Maybe your blind spot is your relationship problem. For example, I know people who don't realize that their blind spot is their inability to manage relationships. Okay, they put number 15 before I was ready. Number 15, assess how far you have come. I guess I've already started talking about it. So assess how far you have come in life. Begin to ask yourself, how far have I come with my dream? Because listen. If you do not assess, you cannot access. If you do not assess the future, assess how things are, you will not access where you are going. You need to succeed in your prime. You need to be able to make impact in your prime. Number 16, look for something challenging and throw your life at it. Oh, wow. Look for something challenging and throw your life at it. Let's call it BHAG, bag. Big, hairy, audacious goals. Big, hairy, audacious goals. Look for a bag, a big, a hairy, audacious goal that stretches you out of your normal capacity, that takes you out of your regular comfort zone, that moves you beyond where you used to operate and begin to walk on them. Big, hairy, audacious goals. I remember hearing I kept seeing advertising of some young man's company in the country of Nigeria. He's into real estate. In fact, he began to advertise the properties he's selling. He calls it the Camberwell. When I eventually met him, I said, you're building some nice, real upper class, middle class, upper class building. Why did you call it Camberwell? I wouldn't exactly call the property that's all middle class, upper class Camberwell. He said, when I first started coming to London from Africa, that was where we stayed, where we were getting the pennies. It touched my heart. But this young man had a big, hairy, audacious goal. How did he arrive there? He went to the American embassy to get a visa to go to America. 5 of them were in front of this consular officer who comes out and says, I'm really tired. I only want to give 3 of you a visa today out of 5. The consular officer really was out of order. You don't decide people's future that way. You decide it on the basis of, did they meet the requirement? So she did her many more and chose only 3 out of 5. This young man was rejected. He took it as a word from God that it was not God's plan for him to leave his country. Cut the long story short, he began to buy land in the primest part of the city of Lagos and began developing. Right now, he's actually into what is called Camberwell 3, or Veritas 3. He sold about 60 apartments and another 60 apartments. He's in the third stage of selling another 60 set of apartments. Who would ever know that that kind of rejection would turn a young man to become successful? But it was only possible because in the middle of the ashes of his pain of rejection, he found his big, hairy, audacious goal and set it and ran with it. So listen, life will throw things at you. When life throws lemons at you, you need to turn it to lemonade.